There's a moment, somewhere in the first few weeks of a kitten's life, before its eyes have even fully focused, when its brain quietly makes a decision it will never take back. In that short window, it decides who counts as safe, who counts as family, who it will trust for the rest of its life. That window closes fast, and most cat owners never even realize they were standing inside it when it did. Here's the thing about that decision: your cat isn't going to sit you down and announce it. It's going to show you, over and over, in small physical signals that are easy to miss if you don't know what you're looking for. Some people live with a cat for 10 years and never notice. Others catch on almost immediately. Today we're breaking down 11 of those signals, starting with the obvious ones, and working toward the ones almost nobody notices. 1. The hook tail salute. Start with the tail, because it's the easiest one to catch and honestly the most reliable. The next time you walk into a room, don't look at your cat's face first, look at the tail. If it shoots straight up like a little flagpole, and the very tip folds over into a soft curve, almost like a question mark, you're watching the highest-ranking greeting in a cat's entire vocabulary. This isn't something a cat does automatically, the way it might flick its tail out of irritation. It's a choice, made in real time, and it's the same gesture a kitten uses when it runs toward its mother. A cat that keeps its tail low or stiff or twitching at the tip is keeping you at a distance, physically and emotionally. The hooked, upright tail is reserved. Most cats only aim it at 1 or 2 people in their whole lives. If you get it every single time you walk in the door, that's not an accident, that's a cat telling you exactly where you stand. 2. The chirpy trill. Next, listen. Not to the meow is common, almost generic. Listen for a completely different sound. A short, rolling, upward chirp, almost musical, almost like your cat is asking a question. That sound has a very specific origin. It's the exact noise a mother cat makes to call her kittens to follow her. Come here, everything's fine, stay close. When an adult cat starts making that same sound at you, it's not inventing something new. It's reaching back into the earliest, most instinctive part of its communication and pointing it directly at you. Strangers don't get this. Cats you're just feeding out of routine don't get this either. This is a sound built for family, and if your cat greets you with it, or trills right before it wants you to follow it somewhere, it has placed you in the exact same emotional category it once reserved only for its own mother. 3. Face-to-face headbutts. Now here's one that looks like affection, but is actually something more calculated. Cats carry scent glands along their cheeks, chin, and the corners of their mouth. When they rub those against a doorframe or a table leg, that's basic territory marking, low stakes, low risk. But watch what happens when your cat lifts its head and presses its face directly against yours. Not your hand, not your leg, your actual face. That's a completely different level of trust. The face is the most exposed, most vulnerable part of any animal's body. Offering it up at close range on purpose means your cat has dropped every ounce of caution it normally carries. It isn't just leaving its scent on you anymore. It's blending its scent with yours, building something that belongs only to the two of you. 4. Kneading on your stuff. Then there's the paw pushing. Sometimes people call it making biscuits. That rhythmic kneading motion goes all the way back to nursing, when a kitten pressed against its mother's belly to bring the milk down. Adult cats only bring that motion back out when they feel that same total infant-level safety. But here's the detail most people skip past to pay attention to where your cat chooses to knead. Not just any blanket. The cushion you were just sitting on. The sweater that still smells like you. Your cat isn't just relaxing on soft fabric, it's deliberately pairing your scent with the single most comforting motion it has in its entire behavioral toolkit. In that moment, your cat's brain has quietly filed you under the same category as warmth, food, and home. 5. The long, slow blink. This one's become well known, but people usually miss the deeper version of it. A slow blink where your cat looks at you, narrows its eyes, and lets them drift shut for a second, is essentially a cat choosing to stop watching for danger while looking directly at you. That's a big deal in animal terms. Closing your eyes near another creature is an act of pure trust. Researchers have actually studied this. Cats will slow blink back at people who do it to them first, and they warm up faster to strangers who try the gesture. But the real tell isn't just the blink itself. It's how long your cat's eyes stay half-closed around you in general. An imprinted cat doesn't just blink slowly once. It spends long stretches of time with its guard completely down in your presence, because your being there has switched its vigilance off entirely. 6. Toy deliveries, not trophies. Everyone's heard the stereotype of a cat leaving a dead mouse on the doorstep. But the far more telling version of this is gentler. A cat carrying a toy across the entire house, dropping it at your feet and looking straight up at you. Sometimes it even makes a small, muffled sound around the toy, the exact noise cats make naturally while carrying real prey. This isn't a request to play fetch. In a wild colony, hunting only gets shared with animals a cat considers part of its group. By bringing you that toy, your cat isn't treating you like the person who fills its food bowl out of obligation. It's naming you its hunting partner, the one it wants beside it for the most important activity in a cat's entire instinctive life. 7. Walking point, then checking on you. Watch for this specific little routine. Your cat walks ahead of you, tail straight up, then stops and glances back over its shoulder to make sure you're following. It might be leading you toward its food bowl, its favorite window, a door it wants opened, or the spot where it likes to be brushed. This isn't begging and it isn't demanding. It's escorting, the exact behavior cats use in the wild to guide a trusted group member towards something valuable. A cat that leads you through its own territory, checking back to make sure you're still there, isn't treating you like a subordinate it has to manage. It's treating you like an equal it's chosen to share its world with. 8. A private language just for you. Here's something most people never think about. Adult cats almost never meow at each other. The meow, as we hear it, was essentially developed by cats specifically to communicate with humans. And over months or years living with you, your cat builds an entire private vocabulary. Sounds it's learned get certain reactions from you, and only you. You say something, it answers back. You pause, it fills the silence. You walk through the door and it holds what feels like an entire conversation. Two cats will never do this with each other. This dialect exists purely in the space between the two of you, shaped by trial and error, tuned specifically to how you respond. If your cat talks back to you in a way that feels like an actual back and forth, it's built something it will never build with another living creature. 9. Tagging along for no reason. Notice when your cat follows you into rooms that offer it absolutely nothing. The bathroom, the closet, the laundry room. No food there, no warmth, no toys. It follows anyway for one simple reason: it doesn't want to be away from you. In the wild, members of a group naturally drift apart during the day and come back together at safe points. A cat that trails you from room to room, waits outside a closed door, or shows up the second you sit down somewhere new has decided that separation from you is something to actively correct. This isn't neediness the way we'd think of it in a person. It's an animal that has quietly built you into its personal definition of safe place and reorganizes its whole day around staying close to you. 10. Grooming you like family. Pay attention the next time your cat licks your hand, your hair, or your arm with that rough sandpaper tongue. Mutual grooming between cats isn't casual. It's a bonding ritual reserved specifically for close relatives and tightly bonded companions. The same behavior a mother uses on her own kittens. When your cat grooms you, it's treating you the way it would treat family that needs looking after, trying, by its own instincts, to care for you and blend your scent into its idea of us. Some cats even groom more when they sense you're stressed, as if trying to soothe you the only way they know how. It might not feel comfortable, but it's one of the clearest signs of trust a cat can offer. 11. Eating only when you're nearby. Last one, and it's easy to mistake for pickiness. Some cats will walk right up to a full bowl, glance around, and just wait, refusing to eat until you're actually in the room with them. Eating is a genuinely vulnerable act for any animal, head down, guard lowered, unable to watch for danger. A cat that only lowers its head to eat once you're nearby is treating your presence as its lookout system. Your being there is what allows its most defenseless instinct to switch off completely. Some cats will even walk you to the kitchen and wait for you to stand beside them before they'll touch the food. It's not manipulation, it's an animal that only feels safe enough to be defenseless when its chosen person is right there next to it.